Yo, what is up, you guys? It's your boy Raza. You guys are probably seeing me on other YouTube channels, talking about NBA and NFL especially. But today we're starting something new. Today we're trying to start a new journey. First YouTube channel of my own. First YouTube video. Today is June 29th. Free agency for NBA starts tomorrow. But that also means we have a lot of rumors to get into today. So let's get right into it. So, as I'm recording it, forward for Miami Heat, Andrew Wiggins has opted out of his 30-year, $30 million for this year player option, and he intends to sign a 3-year, $64 million contract, with the third year being a player option. So exactly what we thought. It gives the Heat a lot more flexibility, you know, having more room on their cap space to maybe go ahead and make a trade from Jovic's contract. They could also make a trade. They could still probably sign and trade Andrew Wiggins now. They still have other guys. Obviously we know Giannis just went to the Miami Heat for Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, and 3 first-round picks. So we'll see where Miami goes. But yeah, just update on Andrew Wiggins. Other other stuff for today. Draymond Green has opted out of his $27.7 million contract and intends to become a free agent, which is very, very, very interesting. Draymond Green has opted out, and the Warriors are trying to sign LeBron James on their mid level, which is $15 million. And they're trying to trade for Anthony Davis from the Wizards, who only played 27 or 29 games for the Mavericks, got traded to the Wizards. Um, Obviously the infamous Luka Doncic trade. He went from the Lakers to the Mavericks, and then he didn't play much, and then got traded again for Chris Middleton and like Marvin Bagley and a couple picks. But that's who the Warriors are targeting. They're trying to trade Jimmy Butler, who's probably going to be out for the year, or at least most of it. His 50-odd million contract, they're trying to trade him. Plus maybe Pods, maybe Moses Moody. They have like 3 to 4 first-round picks to trade. So they could have a good package if the Wizards want to trade Anthony Davis, who, by the way, has not played a game yet for the Wizards. He got traded last year at the trade deadline. Trey Young has only played 5 games. They just drafted AJ DeBansta, so they're on the up. The Wizards are, and I wouldn't be surprised if AD stays and stays healthy. That they could. I'm not gonna say they're like playoff team, but I'm not gonna be surprised if they're a play-in team. Maybe like a 8-9 seed. They got likes of Bilal Coulibaly. They got Alex Sarr. They got young talent, man. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Wizards made a play-in push for this season if they kept AD. But this, guys, look at my phone because any updates could be coming right now. As I started the video, I told you guys the Andrew Wiggins trade, not trade, signing just happened. He opted in, he opted out and signed for 3 years, $64 million. So, guys, what are you guys looking at? Let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the big thing for today. LeBron James to the Warriors. Is that a possibility? So far, the Lakers have not had any meetings, any talks with LeBron James since the season ended. Although free agency starts tomorrow, June 30th at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern. But the guys that are your own free agents, so for the Lakers, like guys like Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, Austin Reeves, we already saw he signed a 4-year, $185 million contract with a player option, which is a pet peeve for me with Rob Pelinka. Everything's got to be a player option. There's no team control. But that's for another day, guys. The Warriors can give LeBron $15 million, the taxpayer mid-level exception, and no one else other than the Lakers can really like give that much money. The Lakers, who should, let's be honest, guys. LeBron James, he's not what he used to be, but he's still like a top 20, 25 player. He's still really good. His numbers are still there. Maybe the impact is not the way it used to be, like, let's say, like 4 years ago, but he's still damn good. And the Lakers could really use him. Who are the Lakers targeting? Jock Londell and like the Zaire Williams. Nothing against them, but like they're like end of the bench slash like 12, 13 men on the roster. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that hasn't come up yet. We'll see. Tomorrow free agency starts. Maybe they're trying to sign a Walker Kessler, give him an offer. Let's see Utah matches or not. Maybe it's a Tari Eason. Maybe it's a Jalen Duran. Maybe they're trying to trade. I don't know. What if Minnesota's like we'll trade Rudy Gobert? I don't know what the Lakers are looking at. Luca has already said that he wants a plus a tier center. It's probably gonna be hard to find an A level center for the Lakers, but as we all know, the way Luca plays, a B to a B minus caliber of a center, he can make him like, I'm not gonna say A plus, but like A minus tier, like Daniel Gafford. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player at all. He's a good player, but he's more of like an energy guy who's gonna run the floor, pass some laws, play some defense, block some shots. He does foul a lot. Does Daniel Gafford, but we still don't know if the Mavericks are gonna trade with the Lakers after the Luka Doncic trade. Uh, just as we talked about Andrew Wiggins, Sean just tweeted Andrew Wiggins will serve as a key star alongside key stars Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo. And yep, interesting move. We'll see what they do. Maybe they try to trade for John Morant, who's also on the trade market. But yeah, going back to the Warrior talk, Draymond Green opted out, $27.7 million contract. He intends to be a free agent now. Warriors are trying to trade for AD. And guess what, guys? Who is their agent? Rich Paul, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, LeBron James, all share an agent. Rich Paul. Interesting, right, guys? Yep. Something's going on here that, we'll see what happens in the next, like, upcoming weeks. But there's definitely something going on. We know LeBron, the GM, he's smart. He's trying to work his magic. He really is trying to work his magic. We all know he's always trying to play with Steph Curry. He's a big fan. Their game is gonna be like peanut butter jelly sandwich. Like it's gonna be just immaculate. Can you imagine LeBron Steph pick and roll? LeBron is the point guard. He passes to Steph Curry. He's not missing, man. Come on now. Draymond Green setting all those illegal screens. Anthony Davis and Draymond on the defensive end. Even if AD's load managing, it's fine. They still have like, it depends on what they trade for Anthony Davis. But if they can somehow keep pods, Moses Moody comes back. Obviously, Jimmy Butler is going to be in the trade. But they re-signed Al Horford for 2 years, 14 million yesterday or the other day. So Draymond, if they get AD, Al Horford, every every this team is gonna be old. As a Lakers fan, this team not on the level of that team, but just look at the ages reminds me of the 2022 Lakers, I believe. It was the one with Russ, Rondo, Ken Bazemore was on the team, Dwight Howard was on the team, Melo was on the team, Trevor Ariza, I don't know if I mentioned him, LeBron AD, obviously, young Austin Reeves. This team low-key reminds me of that team, a lot of older people. Defense might be a problem. We'll see how if obviously the AD trade happens, how him and Draymond are able to play defense because Draymond and AD are two of the best defenders of all time, in my opinion. And Al Horford is a he'll play defense. He's older now, a lot older, but he'll still compete on the defensive end. Steph Curry has gotten a lot better, on the defensive end, compared to what he was like, let's say like a decade ago. LeBron, he's old. He'll play some defense, you know, if he has to. He's not gonna be your OG Ananobi, He's not gonna be your lockdown defensive guy on the wing. But if he has to in the playoffs, he can still play defense. He has it in him, but he's not gonna do it every night, obviously. And rightly so. He's 41, 42, about to be 42 in December. Um, Played for 20 odd years. So much mileage on him. Not 10 finals. Just too much mileage on his body to play defense all like every game. He should not even be playing like the max he should be playing is like 65 to 70 games. If AD goes to the Warriors, he shouldn't be playing more than like 65 games either. Because like, what's the point? Let Steph, Draymond, Pods, Moses Moody, like when he comes back from his injury, let these guys, like even LeBron can play. AD needs to like max like 2 games a week. Like sit tight, AD. We need you for the playoffs type stuff. So we'll see how that happens. But I'm telling you guys right now, there's something's brewing right now. LeBron James, man, he's too smart of a guy. Either we're gonna talk about this in a week that he was just trying to get more money from the Lakers, but my gut, my brain, knowing LeBron James for the last like 15 years watching basketball, I just have a feeling that he's gone, and the Lakers can't do anything about it because rightly so, the Lakers are trying to build around Luca, but in LeBron's mind, he's getting a little bit disrespected. First of all, like you're having me play the third best player on the team role, and it's not like the team is like a perennial like contender. They're losing in the second round every year or the first round. Last couple of years they've lost in the first and second rounds. What 3-4 years ago they went to the conference finals. Lost got swept by the Nuggets with LeBron and AD were there when Jamal Murray was it the no that was the year after. That's the year. The year they got swept was when we thought that Rui Hachimura is a Nikola Jokic stopper, and then Jokic was just hitting one-legged full court shots then. So but excited to see what happens there. Another news we got is James Harden is declining his $43 million contract and becoming a free agent and intends to sign a multi-year deal with the Cavs. Obviously got traded from the Clippers to the Cavs at the trade deadline, which was a big, really big trade actually, because Darius Garland is in his 20s. James Harden is well into his 30s. We all know his playoffs. He's not a he's a great Hall of Fame top three, top four shooting guard of all time. I don't want to get into a debate right now between him and D Wade, but let's just say top four shooting guard of all time. One of the best scorers of all time. He can facilitate. He doesn't play defense. He never did, but um, not a lot of guards do actually. Not a lot of superstar players do it anymore. But yeah, so he intends to re-sign with the Cavs, and it was probably part of the deal when he got to the Cavs that he was gonna opt out of his contract and try to sign a multi-year contract, and that's exactly what's happening because Cavs can't really afford to lose him for nothing. Although like the Cavs should probably not give him like a 3-year contract or something. He'll probably do like a 1+1 or something, which is fine. But the Cavs would probably be hoping that he could give them a little bit of pay cut like he did with the Clippers, so that the tax issues, like they were in the second apron last year. They're paying Harden, they're paying Donovan Mitchell, they're paying Mobley, they're paying Allen. They're trying to trade Schroeder and Max Strus, who's making like close to 15 million, I think Max Strus is. So they're trying to be under the second apron, which is like really difficult. I just be looking at my phone because Jake Fisher just sent out a tweet. Wiggins opted into next year's salary. 2 more years, 34 million. Yeah. So we'll see what the Cavs do. As I said, James Harden is gonna be back with them most likely. Um, they're not at the level of the Knicks, but they did go to the conference finals. Um, Boston's gonna be back next year. Pistons, they're trying to make a move. We'll see. We'll see where Kawhi. We're gonna next topic is gonna be Kawhi. So we're gonna see if Kawhi somehow goes to the Pistons, but Pistons are trying to make a move. They were interested in LeBron a couple days ago. They got Isaiah Joe, um, sharpshooter, really good shooter. I think that's really good pickup for 2 second round picks. So we'll see what the Pistons do. Celtics are going to be back. We'll see what happens with Jalen Brown. But Celtics, as a Lakers fan, Celtics always find a way to be one of the contenders in the East. You know, they're always up in the conference finals and the finals. They're always there. You know what I mean? Especially since Jason Tatum has gotten drafted. Um, Magic's gonna get better. Hawks are gonna get better. Miami just added Giannis Antetokounmpo with Bam in their front court. Like they're already like a top six, top five defense without even playing a game, and they just got Andrew Wiggins back. We'll see what happens with Norman Powell. I think he's gone because he was an All Star last year, and he's not signing for like 10 million unless he is. Then you got him. But we'll see what they do. You know, as I said before, they got Jovic's salary. You know, he signed a 4 year 64, I believe, last summer. So he's not make he's what in the 15-16 million dollar range. So we'll see what happens with them. Who will Magic, Hawks, Wizards, as I said, playing team potentially. Sixers, depending on injuries, Tyrese Maxey's really good. VJ, you know, PG, obviously, you know, Joel, you know, if he stays healthy, which again is a huge, huge, you know, like risk. Probably not gonna happen. Keeping it a buck. Um, talking about keeping it a buck. Bucks got Tyler Hero. Bucks got Kuzma. They got Miles Turner. Just joking, guys. They're not doing anything. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Last couple of topics I want to touch on for today's video. Kawhi Leonard. Rumors say that he does not. If he got traded to the Pistons, he would not sign a contract extension, which he's up for. He would only sign it with the Spurs and the Toronto Raptors, who are really interested. And I won't be surprised if that trade happens in the next couple of days. It would probably have to be RJ Barrett in the trade because I don't know why the Clippers are gonna want Emmanuel quickly because he still has like 4 years I believe remaining on his deal and 30 plus million dollars. They already have Garland who's making like a bag. They just drafted Keaton Wagler. Um, he's there. Ben Mathurin is probably gonna come back. They still probably got Chris Dunn over there. So I don't see Emmanuel quickly or Jakob Pearl being in that trade either because Jakob's under contract for another 4 years too, I believe. And I know he was like a little bit hurt last year, but like that's a bad contract, honestly. Like he just didn't play good last couple of years. I know he's had back issues in his early day or not early days, like last few years, but uh RJ I don't think you trade BI. You're trying to pair BI Scotty. Oh my god, that defense is gonna be crazy. Scotty and BI. I'm sorry, Scotty and Kawhi. Wow. That defense is gonna go somewhere. Obviously you don't try to you're not gonna trade Scotty Barnes for Kawhi. You know, he's your future. And today. Current and future. And BI is making 40 million a year. BI for Kawhi. That might be a good swap too, but if you can keep BI, maybe you can trade, you know, RJ Barrett and like if you can have the Clippers take on Jakob, we'll see how that goes. Spurs, I don't really see that happening because they only have a mid level as far as salary is concerned. They're still looking to re-sign Harrison Barnes, which I don't know why. As a locker room guy, yeah, but was he not there when they were blowing like 29-point leads in the finals? So what was his role? Like he was not contributing on the floor, and he didn't do much off the floor. They were still blowing, leads. Um, Kawhi, oh wow, Kawhi and Wemby would be crazy, but I don't think that's happening because I think that relationship is like a little bit bitter because the whole injury situation. They said that Kawhi could have played with his thigh bruise, and Kawhi had like sat out the year. And then the Zaza Pachulia, the conference finals, that was with KD, so that had to be 2017 conference finals. Spurs could have won that championship that year because they were looking really good against that Warriors team with KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala, Sean Livingston. They were looking really, really good that first game. They were up like 23, I believe, off the top of my dome. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and Jalen Brown, lastly, guys, his name has been coming up in the trades since basically he's been drafted. First of all, you guys gotta understand Boston Celtics, Lakers. These are type of teams that if you get drafted to them, you're always gonna be in trade rumors because they're always trying to get better. Make the conference finals. Try to win the NBA championship. One team has 18 championships, the other has 17. They're big market teams. They're always trying to win, so your name is always gonna be up there. But Jalen Brown, as as a Lakers fan, I still appreciate his game. I think he's a fantastic player. I can argue he's the best two-way player right now. Very smart man. I really admire Jalen Brown, from far. I would love if somehow he became a Laker, but obviously that wouldn't happen. But oh my god, his fit with Luka Doncic would just be wild. Um he was the Luka stopper in the finals when Celtics won. So teams like Atlanta Hawks are interested. Charlotte Hornets, who just traded Lamelo Ball, now have another asset or two. They got like three swaps and like a first round pick in 2033, I believe. So they can be interested. Minnesota would have been interested if they didn't get Lamelo Ball. Uh, Clippers name has been coming up. Probably not. Probably they would be trying to pair Kawhi, but then the Kawhi news came up, so I don't know how that's gonna happen. Spurs name came up too, so we'll see what happens with Jalen Brown. But a funny little beef is going on between Jalen Brown's dad and Kendrick Perkins, so we'll see where that goes too. And I just got a tweet from Michael Scotto. He said Los Angeles Lakers guard Marcus Smart will decline his $5.39 million player option, and will become a free agent, unrestricted free agent. A lot of rumors coming up from the Houston Rockets for Marcus Smart. So Ime Udoka connection. They did the same thing with Dorian Finney-Smith last year, but that did not end up too good. Sean's just tweeting the same thing about Marcus Smart. But yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith, that signing wasn't really good. They gave him a 4-year 52, I believe, but out after 2 years. So they're actively trying to trade him. Expiring deal because they'll just decline the team option next summer. So they're trying to get another wing stopper from old wing stopper from the Lakers again. So we'll see. We'll see if Marcus goes to the Rockets, comes back to the Lakers. But apparently they wanted to offer him more than 5.4 million. I'm thinking about the taxpayer mid-level exception for the Rockets, which I believe is like 6.1 to 6.2 million dollars. It's Texas, so it's tax free. California, obviously a lot of taxes. So depending on how many years, because if I'm Marcus Smart's agent, I'm telling him to take the years because he's an injury prone player. And this year he had a year where he played a lot of games compared to like the sample size for last few years, especially when he was on the Grizzlies and then the Wizards and all that. So I have a feeling that the Lakers are about to lose Marcus Smart to the Rockets for like a 3-year, $20-ish million deal. I have a feeling the Lakers about to lose LeBron. I don't know why I have a feeling Rui is going to the Spurs. He'll be a great fit with Wemby because the only thing he can't do is defend. Now you put him around Castle, Harper, Vassell can defend a little bit. Obviously Wemby's there, and he can shoot. He can shoot. He can shoot like crazy, guys. Telling you, I've seen him for the last like 3 4 years when he's been on the Lakers. He can shoot the pill out of that. He he's crazy, especially that corner and wing shot. Oh my god! Like open, he does not miss. So for the Spurs, it would be a great fit, and it gives them the 6'8", 6'9", like forward, that they didn't really have, because Harrison Barnes is not gonna play. Carter Bryant's still a rookie, and I don't think he's 6'9". He's probably like 6'7", 6'8", 6'7". Um, so we'll see what happens with Rui. Uh, Luke Kennard, depending on, but he's not like Luke Kennard is not a necessity for the Lakers. They need to get a center and they need to get a wing and maybe a PO, point of attack defender, if Marcus Smart leaves. So we'll see if the Lakers go after Peyton Watson, who Denver might let him go if it's over $30 million a year. They were talking about. They have to clear a salary to either if it's Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon. I don't think they're trading Jamal Murray, obviously. Um, because Jonas is on a he is only guaranteed $2 million, and they're gonna waive him, and he's probably gonna go Europe and play over there. Um, Julian Strother might get traded. Who else is on that team? But yeah, even then, they're not gonna have space under the second unless they just go into the second apron. But that barely happens. Even the Knicks, who just won a championship, or their owner just said like a week ago that they're not gonna go into second apron. If a New York team, one of the most like valuable teams in the world, coming off a championship after 53 years, if they're not gonna go in the second apron, like who will? Like you know what I mean? I don't think the Nuggets will either. So we'll see what the Nuggets do there. But yeah, guys, if we have any updates, I'll be making a lot of videos in the next few days. If it's your first time watching, I really appreciate you. Please leave a like, share, subscribe. I'm very excited to start this journey, as I said before. And any news, NBA related, NFL related, uh, you can find here. Appreciate you guys. Peace.